Hi, guys, and welcome to Transits and Tactics. Wow, today is a tricky one. It's a tricky one, guys. It is a gate of sexuality. And no, we're not going to be talking about sex. Although we probably could have and should have, because there's so much to say about this energy of making more. So this is what this gate of sexuality is really all about, the reproduction, which is making more, right? Like a cell dividing and like, humans or any kind of animals, the two can becoming one and becoming more. That is in our instinct. But this energy is also about really finding the intimacy. And when we're talking about intimacy, we are really talking about the internal truth and the truth within yourself and the intimacy within yourself, connection within yourself, through which we can create connection to others. And I really highly encourage you to research this gate with this direction, about finding truth. I this morning listened to Richard Rudd's contemplation in his 64 ways. You can actually Google it. It's a free available little audio, or you can purchase all the audios. And sometimes I find that this is really good to I'm not following Gene Keys as much as I'm kind of sticking to human design, but sometimes, especially when a contemplation is required, and today's one, this 59's way, 59's Gene Key, 59's Gene Key in the book Gene Keys has a different, if you have a book, like it's a different uh thing to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those audio contemplations that Richard Rudd recorded, and then there is a book as well that was produced. It blew my mind this morning. And what blew my mind in the beginning was that he said this was the third attempt for him to talk about this. And so I am not surprised that I myself felt very, I was saying, how do I put this? I sense it, but how do I put it into words? And I didn't have the lightning bolt breakthrough moments. That's true, if we're talking about personal truth. But I am just allowing myself to do this big download that's happening right now. And maybe there's something in it for you, or maybe there's something in it for even me or Anita. And I have a feeling Anita is going to do the same with hers, because this is a tricky energy. It's constantly evolving. It's at the core of us, our evolution as humans, where we're heading. And this whole sexuality topic in human design and Gene Keys, the evolution of humanity is going towards less sexually driven world and much more intimacy on a different level. And I absolutely loved it. I loved this whole the topic that Richard Rudd discussed about being honest with yourself, looking within, your traumas, your pains, making friends, finding love through accepting your traumas rather than projecting on others. And I was thinking, how can I bring this into the world of business and marketing? Because marketing, and I know that firsthand, marketing is when we have crushes on others, then their marketing is working. When somebody, like, I'm talking about coaches, I'm talking about solopreneurs, I'm talking about people like us, right? Like me and Anita. We show up, we put our stuff out there, we write, we go, we do videos, and people out there, the right people, correct people, they see us, so they read our stuff, and they feel connected, and then they want more. We want to do more together, and then, they want access to us, and that's how we become each other's clients, because we want access to this person, because together something of more can come to be, right? So this is the energy where we want to create more. So it's actually a really good energy for creating new opportunities in your business, to breaking the barriers as well. Breaking, it's not the time to hold back and be aloof. It is the time for connecting, and there is a strong urge for this. Then this is also, I really love this. This gate is known as aura breaker, because it invites you to penetrate each other's barriers, right? Aura breaker, foster authentic and intimate relationships, which are crucial in every business. Every one of my clients, and Anita, you know that firsthand, right? We're very connected. There is an intimate connection that happens with every person that I'm working with right now. And that made me think about the previous life, but when I wasn't so focused about correctness and of me within and others that I attract, how people were incorrect, and I would be projecting this pain, whatever pain I had, I would be constantly projecting it onto people I worked with. Nightmare clients, it was always their fault. Oh my God, they're calling me again. Oh my God, they want something from me again. Especially when I had this digital marketing agency and I was doing things for people, and I was reading today about the whole sense of intimacy, how when you are okay within, with your pain, with your own things, with your own cockroaches in your head, when you become okay, when you release this, the other person is no longer part of this journey. You're okay with this other person. So yes, and I was thinking about some of the people that I used to be really in bad client relationships, client and service provider relationships. And then when I've healed whatever wound that they were poking into, when that's healed, and that was about self-recognition, guys, that was about self-value, that was about self-worth, it was nothing to do with them, and I was projecting my pain at them. And then it's like what I really liked in Richard Roth's contemplation today. He said it's like you're getting an envelope of pain, and if you open it, there's love, but you don't want to open it. You just throw it at another person, but that person also doesn't want to open it. Nobody wants to open the envelope of pain. We're just throwing it at each other, and it just hurts more and more. And I think that this is so beautiful that we're getting to really face it this week with this transit, with these energies. And then we have the gate 55 grounding this, and it's the gate of emotional spirit, which also there is a sense of freedom, there is a sense of abundance with this. There's creative exploration, expanding your business. So there is an energy of pursuing new, and it's kind of have to do a little bit with, if you want to reproduce, if you want to do more, you need to find a partner. So there is a lot of this kind of like pursuing the new. So explore new things, explore new programs that you might want to offer. You don't have to bank on them, but you can still, there's this energy of start something new, try something new. It's your moment to, practice whatever you are giving out there through your business with this vibrancy and generosity. So why not? We can do that because it's about a shared individual spirit that, when correct people come together, creates this authentic feeling of connection, intimacy, and satisfaction, which is really, really cool. And finally, the harmonic gate is gate 6. So I was laughing out loud. If you have gate 6 in your design, not the whole channel maybe, but just the gate 6, you will feel extra extra turned on this week. And I was like, how am I going to put this into business and marketing? And it was so funny. And then it sort of came to me, to be honest, because it is about this raw side. It's about connecting and breaking. So you need a release, right? You need some sort of release. And if you channel whatever's happening with you into content, like we're channeling it now, I just allowed myself to do this whole download, and through that I'm relieving of this pressure, and penetrating auras, penetrating other people, which is like the words from a sexual world, right? Relief and penetration and all that. But you can do that through your content. And the good news is that you can use this energy right now. And I do that very often. Use the energy of whatever you're channeling right now. That works for you when the transit is well gone. That's still going to be magnetic because you're harnessing that energy you're feeling in the moment, and you're creating the content while you're on. And that's really, really, really cool. So just to summarize, take action, faith. Don't project things. Don't project your pain. It can show in our businesses, sort of like feeling like, oh, my efforts are not reciprocated. They're not, engaging with my posts, or, clients are not coming to me. Those are not those people's problems. There's something you need to face within. When you find that peace and love within, with yourself, valuing yourself, you will know that producing content has nothing to do with who engages with it. And clients come when you feel whole inside, even if you're not thinking about business in that moment. It's not separate to who you are. It's all energetically connected. So that's what I think. But yet, this is the time. Don't be aloof. Do things, take action, create something new. It can be a beautiful energy. Anita, how are you experiencing? I know you were saying to me in the beginning, before we started recording, that you have this whole channel.
Absolutely. I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say about this one? Because it's very much a sense for me. I have the gate 59 and 55 in my unconscious sun on earth. So it's very
Oh,
prominent.
wow. Yes, it's in
So I'm
incarnation cross.
exactly. So I know it and I don't know it at the same time. With this one, I love what you were saying. It's definitely a relationship gate. And I also asked to be guided to express how it is for me. And um, we're going through an emotional evolution at the moment. And what I see is in this, it's the ability to be intimate without the emotional baggage, which we call pain, right? So the evolution is stepping from letting the emotion run our life and our relationships and into our true connection, our true inner yes, run our lives. And I think that's the penetration. We get through the crap so we can actually see each other for who we really are. Right. So it's like connect, disconnect. And I have it, so I can tell you. I read Richard's stuff as well last night. And this is a fear that we hold in our aura. So when we meet people, we're already afraid,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And
It's true.
the fear creates a kind of attraction in itself. And a lot of people think when they meet each other, right, and they lose that sexual chemistry, they don't lose the sexual chemistry. They just stop being afraid of each other. And now they can connect in a very, very different way. But as projectors, this can be hard for us because we have a penetrating aura already. So for me, I have a double version of this. I need to be quite careful when I'm meeting people that I just don't dive straight in
Mm.
immediately into a conversation or because I'm seeing things, talk about it. I'm very aware of my need to I guess, as you said, connect within, unify my resources within, and express myself in the right timing. The big thing here is recognizing, as you said, I love this. I love building on what you say. Recognizing that a lot of our pain is for us to face. And it's like the envelope is the emotion isn't in the envelope. What's in the envelope is truth, because the envelope is the emotion. Oh shit, I don't want to open this, instead,
That's it.
as opposed to, and kind of when you open it, you kind of go, oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
You know?
that's it. It becomes much calmer, because the truth is that through the pain in a way, it's an illusion. In a way, it happens through fear. And everyone who has ever been in a situation where they really released attachment to a painful experience in the past, this calm okayness that comes with it, and that okayness, then I know that because I had very painful relationships with my dad. For example, when my dad passed away, all that negativity, all that pain kind of shifted, and it went, and I became okay. I can talk about some stories, and they might come across as horrific stories or the way I present them, but I don't present them emotionally as
Yeah,
acutely horrific anymore. For me, I'm like, okay, there is an anecdote from my story, but I'm not attached to it emotionally. It doesn't hurt me anymore.
exactly. And that's why we can evolve, because we're not
Mm.
stuck in the hurt anymore. And from a business and marketing point of view, it's a superpower because we all experience all the energies. It's just how you can borrow these energies, yourself. But it's dispersion of the seed, dispersion of your essence, of your word, of your interpretation of what you're selling to people is really important. And what this energy is telling us is share from a full cup. Share
Mhm.
from the completion of that rather than the victim of it. And then
Yes.
it becomes so much easier to use this energy. I find it really powerful because I help people, pull their thought and what it's doing in their body and how it's setting up emotions so that they can get into balance and step out of the drama and into the truth of what's really going on. It's a super penetrative gate. It's brilliant for cutting through the crap to get to the truth, right? Very much so. And it's really, to me, when I know I have this superpower, it's to be very respectful of other people's privacy and their readiness to invite me to share their thing, even though I might see it already, you know. So it's helping us develop a respect for ourselves and for others and how we can impact them. And of course, marketing as projectors. I know this sounds weird to you, but I find when I am actually in the presence of people, the more I zip it and hold, I'm an amazing coach. The
Oh,
more
wow.
people, the more people want to talk to me, right? It's very magnetic.
Anita,
So
do you have a defined throat or undefined? I don't remember off the top of my head.
my
I'm
throat
wondering.
is defined, but
Defined, interesting. Yeah.
yeah, but it's in a triple split, so it's not, I have no energy directly to the throat. But yeah, it is. It's when I'm in a conference or a group and I know the answer, instead of spouting it out like I might with the low end of this energy, um, and need to be right about it. It's Virgo energy. It's very practical. I kind of have set a boundary to allow myself um, share in a way that people are coming to me.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but
when
that's part of self-recognition, isn't it? When you
yeah,
recognize these things and where your power lies, like for example, holding back before you, and for each one of us is different, you know.
yeah,
And we don't, guys, we don't want just because we're both of us are projectors by our energetic type, that doesn't mean that this series is only for projectors. Just so you're clear, when we're talking about marketing, when we're talking about, visibility, but you have to also think about that visibility online is a very, like the projector way could suit almost every type with
mm,
slight add-ons or variations, but it would suit because you have to make yourself available for other people to see you, and so there's a lot of things here that any type can take on board. Waiting to, for example, waiting for invitation to give your advice is a big one for a lot of people, because you might be a manifesting generator, but you can have a projected channel like a 1/8 channel of inspiration. You have to be weighted into being invited into this, sharing your goodness. Otherwise, it's just going to meet a hand and you're going to be frustrated because you're meeting this resistance. And it's good to know these little things, although you don't need to spend all your life learning about your human design unless you, because if you don't live it, right? If you don't experiment it, if you don't follow your sacral responses, if you don't wait for invitations before you penetrate somebody's aura specifically,
mm.
then this useless knowledge, honestly.
Exactly. Well, what this is with other people, though, is if you're creating work relationships or client relationships through the fear, through the boundary that's holding the pain, you're going to set up with people who don't support you and who are always questioning and doubting you. So
Exactly.
it's well worth our while with this energy to create the boundary to support our inner yes. And to use the ability to dissolve the boundaries that are holding us in the no and no, like that are holding us there. So it becomes a very, actually, that just came to me now. It's a super way to discern, which is Virgo, more effectively who to work with and who not.
Yes.
So, it's amazing who, I remember one of my mentors saying, I won't work with anyone unless I'm happy to sit down and have a cup of coffee with them and have a good laugh. And I
Yeah.
was there, what a cool boundary to set around your clients, You need to like your client. And, a lot of people, as we know in the work world, have fear driving them to take any client. And it's draining the life out of them. And we don't need to do that. So that's kind of where that Virgo combination with this very emotionally connected energy, even though it's sacral, I know that sounds complicated, but the choosing people that are going to support you. I remember, people will advocate for us as projectors or will refer us. And I remember meeting this person who their only objective was to take my stuff. And they weren't referring me really, they were pretending that I was being referred. And I was kind of there, set it up in my manifesting. I am going to attract colleagues who are happy to refer me and support me as I am them. And so Now you look after that one.
I
You
love
know.
what you said because there is a correlation with me. And you said, I think it sounds complicated, but think about it. This is the gate of sexuality. This is a gate of looking for potentially for a partner so you can multiply, so you can, like, what's the perfect partner? So in our businesses, there's two things that you said. One, sometimes we're so afraid that we won't get any clients that we compromise our standards and we attract people who don't, their objective is not to authentically connect with us. And yes, part of this is being freely telling other people, yes, I'm working with Juliette or Anita, I'm working with them, they're my, they're my mentors or they're my coaches, and they're holding back. There's a very lack mentality, but that's not a correct person. And you have to ask yourself, why did you connect with this person in the first place? And I think that if you dig deeper, and I know because I've been in that kind of relationships where I had a client and then the client was saying, don't tag me on Facebook as your client, tell them I'm your friend. And I was like, no, you're not my friend, you are actually my client, no matter how friendly we get. So that's a bit of a strange kind of statement to make, but that just shows that they're not correct people. And when I looked into the very beginning of relationships, I realized it was a discovery call that I don't normally do. And there was like an insisting thing, let's do a discovery call. And it lasted, guys, 3 hours. That's how bad I held my boundary. And that's where I should have run then. And I didn't. And then eventually it turned. And so this is what we do. We compromise, even though we don't realize it sometimes at the time. But there was a compromise and the inner guidance was telling me don't do it. And I still did it. This is the gate where we're choosing that very carefully. We want more, there is a drive to connect and everything, but the discernment, so that's where the strategy and authority is so important, because my gut feeling was saying to me during this, especially after 1 hour was expired, don't do this is not good. Yeah, so listen to your gut always, no matter what. And also this is a transit energy, whether you might not have this energy in your chart, and right now you could be also, a little bit too much turned on with stuff. So discern with your inner guidance or whatever guidance you have, your reflector, talk at people, mental projector, follow your strategy, how you get to the correct answers, right? Look deeper into your chart. If you don't have inner guidance, look at your variables, look at your cognition. You might have like a taste cognition and there's a metallic taste in your mouth saying no, right? So these things are very handy to know. How can you ensure that you're at least trying to make correct decisions in your life that are aligned with who you are, which is the most important thing. And the transit will go, but what you've made, these decisions, the consequences will be there to be faced.
Mm.
And that is on you. That responsibility is on you. So you have a choice to either do it or not do it. And that's what's beautiful about this whole thing. That's why we're doing this transits and tactics. And today was a little bit of a download. It was much longer but I hoped that you enjoyed, and I hope that you're still staying with us right now and listening to us. And we will wrap up now, and we will see you in the next episode of Transits and Tactics, which is very exciting. See you later, and bye.